5, 6, 5, 6. I'm still a Hufflepuff. She can't take that away from me. Kirsten's Agenda is the name of my show. It's a way to make art and learn stuff and grow. There will be lots of segments and maybe some guests. 10 minutes of deep breath, that is my quest. If while we're here, then our insides expand to be more compassionate to our fellow man and woman and person. And remember, the truth is that kindness is cool. Have sex with my feelings and fuck being cruel. Because our power lies in our minds and our hearts. Opening up is a really good place to start. Kirsten's Agenda. Welcome. I wrote the theme song, but then the music is supported by this gentleman. His name is here. I didn't, Adam, you didn't give me the name. He just said his friend. So I don't know his name yet, but he wrote the music based on my music, which is exciting. This week.
Is everybody going to notice that I changed? I changed. Maybe the tail will distract them.
If you have your own, this may or may not be a hippogriff. It might just be a bird. I don't know. I don't know what I'm allowed to call it on this show. But if you want to scream into the void about things that you don't understand, that maybe someone you deeply admire did, and you have your own hippogriff, you can scream into that void. And it goes like this. Why do you just have to defend that which you don't understand? Why do people have to do that? Why do I do that?
Why do you do that, Kirsten? Why do you do that?
Understand. Needing to defend why I'm right about something I don't completely understand. It's not like I'm a scholar. Offended. What's the definition of offended, Adam? Can you put it here? Offended. Offended means when you go like, ugh, and harumph.
I can't believe you're telling everybody this.
Those two sounds are in the definition somewhere. I think it's important for the quality of one's life to reduce the amount of things that offend you.
I'm a little offended with myself.
You don't have to.
Just talking about the word offended.
To keep things that offend them. There are jobs. There's people on TV and their whole thing is predicated about being offended. Like there's a guy and I keep seeing him on like things and he's like, they are protesting. Shame on, I am offended by. I feel like the only things that we really need to be offended with is cruelty and carrots. Obviously. So today, we're very lucky. I talked to my friend Roxy. Here it is. Wait, your parents are both, were your parents both in the military? Are they?
No, so my father was in the military. My mother was military wife, but she also, she worked outside of that too, but family unit. So we traveled.
Did you come out to them as gay? And then did you come out to them as I'm trans? Did you not? Do they not know anything? Should I tell them not to watch this?
Oh, no, that's fine. I mean, they know everything. I'm like, honey, they've seen these girls. I always knew that I wasn't, the norm. My mom was in the restroom and I was, in the room and I was kind of like, laying on the floor in the bedroom and, I was kind of, just like, Mom, I need to talk to you. And she's like, okay, and I felt so safe because again, the door was closed and she was in there and I was kind of just laying by the door. And I remember just kind of crying and telling her, and I said I was bisexual because I felt like, well, that's not as bad. It's not as much of a sting and maybe there's still hope. And again, this coming from someone in their 8th grade, I don't even know how old I was, 9th grade. And not only that, but also being young, being Black, living in Virginia, and nothing against Virginia, but, it's, different parts of the world are, not as open and free as Los Angeles. And being so young and not really fully understanding, but at the same time, too, when I was that age, which was the 90s, there wasn't, and not to say that there wasn't, but there was no, that I knew of, there was no transgender, that wasn't even a word. You know what I mean? Not a common word anyway. And it was like, you're gay, you're straight, you're Black, you're white, you're this, you're that, you're a circle, you're a square. You know what I mean? There was no, like now, there's so many more things. And and it was crazy because I remember coming out and like I said, saying I was bisexual and, crying, just crying. And, and my mom was very, she was so supportive and told me she loved me. And it was it was amazing. And like, just, and both my parents for that instance too. My dad traveled a lot because he was always deployed and doing things. So me and my mom had a stronger bond. But it's funny because now, one, that I'm not, living in my parents' home, which always helps. Yes. But also too, the older I've gotten, and my dad said something to me, which was like, if he ever watches this, it's too much. But he said something to my sister, and I have one older sister. He said this to us, and he said, I was talking to some guys at work, and again, keep in mind, this is the military.
Yeah,
so,
I am keeping I'm already getting emotional.
Girl. So, yeah. And so, well, first of all, now, it's crazy because both my parents, they call me their daughter. My sister calls me her sister. Like, it's crazy. And I didn't even necessarily want all of that. I just wanted to feel like, hey, that's Roxy. Like, you don't even have to say, I'm your sister, I'm your daughter, that's Roxy. We love you. That's all I wanted. You know what I mean? I got my name legally changed when I was 21. And he said to us, he was like, I was talking to some people at my work, and they were asking me, hey, what are you doing this weekend? And he said, oh, I'm so excited. I got my kids coming over, and I haven't seen them in, a month, but we talk regularly, blah, blah, blah. I'm just so excited to spend time with my kids. And, my dad was like, oh, what about y'all? What's going on with y'all? And then the guys were like, I think one or two of them was like, oh, I haven't seen my kids in years, and we don't even live in the same, they don't even talk to me, and blah, blah. And I was just like, so he just said he appreciated so much that we even just wanted to be around them. And I was like, Daddy, you know what I mean? Like, are you kidding me? Like, y'all have been so great to me anyway, and just the shit that I have to go through in life. And it's just like, it's just amazing when you have people like that in your life. And if you don't have that with your immediate family, because again, some people don't understand and they don't want to understand, hopefully you're able to find that and you can create that yourself.
I mean, one of my favorite things about being around you is that it feels like, when I've done bingo with you, which, by the way, we'll talk about, but you're still doing bingo now, right?
I am actually no longer a part of that bingo. I'm doing my own. Roxy's got balls. She's got an official sign. And I'm doing it in my kitchen because it's quarantine.
This is my journal. It's a new journal. I make them a lot. I wrote a song about differences. It goes like this. I like being different. I've chosen much that way. I feel way more normal. I do. When I am a little outside of the fray. We are each so different. It's what makes us all the same. And all the people afraid of different than them. I suspect that this is about their own shame. Pay attention. Are you one of those people? I am sometimes, too. Because it's scary and inescapable being different. You may not quite fit in because of your sexual orientation, or maybe you've never been to the OBGYN. Like, that's true. People can feel very strange about that. I hadn't gone for years because I was afraid. And then girls would talk about it and I'd be like, I don't know what they're saying. And I felt different. And there's just all kinds of weird things that we think, oh, if they knew this about me, then I would be a weirdo. But what makes us all the same is we are each exactly ourselves. And you are you and I am me. And we all can universally agree. My lyrics are right here. Can you tell? We each deserve air. Each one of us, each different little one of us, we each deserve air and equality. Right? You do. I do. They do. He does. She does. We do. Because we're all part of the planet family tree, cherished and honored for being exactly who we showed up to be. Hippogriff.